So right now, if the court in Hague failed in their job, what is the solution if we cannot punish war criminals in front of an international court? And we all know the objective reasons why they cannot be trialed in our domestic countries. Because, for an example, in power after the war were politicians who started the war themselves, and many of accused are still considered as war heroes. So what is the solution if it's not domestic judiciary or nor international court in Hague?
The solution is to look at the experience of the International Criminal Court for the former Yugoslavia and make necessary corrections so the process works much better, is more efficient, is faster. Classic example, a trial of Slobodan Milosevic that lasts 4 or 5 years, that begins with witnesses who are unreliable and can easily be discredited. We thought the trial of Slobodan Milosevic was going to help the people of Serbia to understand more about their history and about the role that Slobodan Milosevic played in the wars. In fact, it helped his popularity because when they designed and presented their witnesses, their list of witnesses, they did it solely thinking how they were going to be viewed 20 years by legal scholars and not with the objective of trying to convince the population of the region as to his guilt and culpability for the crimes that were caused. It was a big failing. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned. My aggravation, my frustration is that there seems to be absolutely no effort to do a lessons learned. What can be done better? There doesn't seem to be any of that. There seems to be a protective web around the tribunal, so it can't be questioned. And now maybe that will come when its work is done, but it should happen.
We have to mention the status of Bosnia and Herzegovina as well. You recently have stated that the best solution for Bosnia is division. The reactions of international community,
Yep.
please be my guest.
No, what I said was, most importantly, Bosnia is not working. That for 15
Did you
years,
suggest that the division should be the best solution?
15 years now, we have been trying to make this Bosnia work. For 15 years, our secretaries of state have been coming to Bosnia and saying, you need to change the constitution, you need to do this, you need to do that, keeping the same process going. Bosnia is, at best, a frozen conflict. It is kept frozen, if you will, by the constant, overwhelming presence of the international community. If the international community were to leave Bosnia today,
but the reactions of the international community were weak.
Within a month of leaving, Bosnia would fall apart. So what I am saying is no unilateral actions by anybody, but the international community with the players need to look again at solutions because the current one isn't working. So there's only two alternatives.
Yes.
One is keep on automatic pilot the same failed process, and you and I, 10 years from now, can sit here and have another discussion about this, or to look together to see if there isn't another way.
What is the other way?
And let me just say that in the United States, we have a fantastic melting pot, a multi-ethnic society that works. It's the ideal way, for sure. But the reality in this world, in Bosnia in particular, after the fighting that took place there, after the emotions and everything else, that insisting on this multi-ethnic community is what is causing this whole thing to break down. So we need to look at this again, even though it's not the ideal solution, even though it's not one in the United States we ever want to accept. But again, hello, this is not working.
Last question for you refers to one old diplomatic saying that you also mentioned, and it says, "You are where you sit." So the question for you would be, I suppose that you are familiar with Montenegrin passion with chairs. So the question for you is, where are you, and are you comfortable with the chair you sit in?
Well, I go right now between Croatia, where we have a home, and Belgrade, where we have an apartment. With
Any business plans for Montenegro?
And I come to Montenegro for pleasure. So I don't know where I sit. I certainly, when you're a diplomat and you travel around the world and you spend a lot more time out of your country than in it, the friends you develop are international people more than Americans, if you will. And so the question of where you sit, what your attitude is, for any diplomat, I think is a tough one. It's made more tough for me because I'm living in this region rather than in the United States.
So thank you very much for talking to Atlas Television and giving us an exclusive opportunity to talk to you in this way.
Thank you.
Poštovani gledalci, gledali ste Atlas VIP. Naš gost bio je posljednji američki ambasador u Jugoslaviji, William Montgomery. Ja sam Milica Minić i želim vam ugodan ostatak večeri. Na gledanje.